Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the Ninja and Ninja Assassin hybrid cards from the Outsiders set that was revealed this past weekend, and talk about their applicability with Katsu specifically. We can do Benji another day, but I think Katsu is kind of the easiest one to go on right now. So I'll kind of give you my thoughts on it from a staple, sideboard, limited, or needs support perspective, and hopefully help you with your deck decisions here in the future. If you like this type of content, after the video is done, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Join the Patreon down below. There's some really cool benefits to get access to videos early and things of that nature. Or you can join the Discord down below as well and get access to our great community. We have over 360 members at this point. Really, really good. Really happy with like the positivity around our community lately. So it's been really fun. But anyway, we'll get right into it. As you can see above me. In the top right corner, I'm gonna have the cards like shown up so you can kind of see them a little bit as we go through these, and hopefully give you an idea of how or at least an idea what the cards are in case you haven't seen them specifically. And I'll have to find them on here. I could have put them in order, but I didn't think that far ahead. It's fine. But we're gonna go through this. We have 4 sections. We have staple. It's gonna be in every deck. I didn't put like Kitty versus Surging in here. There are a couple cards that are specifically for like Kitty, Katsu archetype versus Surging or traditional archetype, and I'll say that, but they're still a staple regardless. We have sideboard or a one of in the deck. We have a limited card, and then we have need support. I didn't put like bad card because there is no bad card in this set, in my opinion. There's cards that are meant for limited play, and then there's cards that just need more support right now. People, I think, forget that these sets also are structured around limited play as well. So some cards that seem underwhelming aren't actually underwhelming. They're just A, access for new players to the game to have some type of card in that slot, and B, they're set for limited play. So keep that in mind with some of these cards as y'all go through and say like this card's bad or whatever. Anyway, first one we have, as you can see above me, it's Dishonor combo. If Bonds of Ancestry was last attacked this combat chain, it gains +2 when it hits a hero. If you control Surging Strike, Descendant, Gus Wave, Bonds of Ancestry, this hero, and it hits, this hero loses all abilities for the rest of the game. Obviously a staple in Katsu. 3 of blue, block 3, extremely powerful ability with a lot of the heroes in the meta. And at worst, 9 times out of 10, it's a 0 for 4 on after Bonds, even if you don't have the full line in control. So really good staple. The next one we have is Flick Knives, which is the legendary Ninja Assassin equipment that was revealed. This one's in the need support category as far as Ninja is concerned. Right now, there's just not a lot of ways to get daggers back, right? Like, so the base thought is you attack, it reads attack once per turn attack reaction, doesn't cost anything to do. Target dagger you control on that isn't on the active chain deals 1 damage to a hero. If damage is dealt this way, so if they can't prevent it, right, not block it, but can't prevent it, the dagger is hit, destroy the dagger. So it's ways to guarantee dagger hits, and I think in the future, if we got like a lot of ways to recur daggers, you could see like a control Katsu throwing dagger type build. However, right now, other than Concealed Blade and like one other card, there's not really any way to gain daggers back. So it's not that it's bad, it just needs more support. And honestly, it's not better than Breaking Scales, which is a common equipment at Arms or Shuko. So that's basically how that works. Then we have Head Leads to Tail. It's a Majestic. It is a staple, but only for Kitty, Katsu only. I would not put this in a traditional Katsu list. It's when this attacks, name another card. Attack action cards with that chosen name have +1 for this combat chain. So as you can see, it's basically a mini Art of War for Kitty Katsu. If you play like Predatory Streak, then you getting 3 tigers. You play this card, you name Crouching Tiger, then all your Crouching Tigers have +1 for the turn. So it's basically like an Art of War. Really nice for that. I wouldn't run it in a traditional list just because it doesn't combo into anything and it's below rate on damage. And you're in a traditional list, you're not normally, if ever, playing like multiple cards of the same name out unless it's like 100 wins. So it probably isn't a staple in that archetype, but it is a staple in the Kitty Katsu archetype. Next, we have Hurl. Hurl is another need support card. All the dagger cards, like spoiler, are going to go in the need support. Right now, I just wouldn't run it in any list. It is a 0 for 3 go again, but its pay 1 ability really doesn't do anything. Its pay 1 ability is just like Flick Knives. You deal 1 damage with a dagger. If it's dealt damage this way, it hits and you destroy the dagger. But again, until we have more ways to recur daggers outside of our blue block 3 that we get in Concealed Blade, it just really won't see play until then. Next one is Knives Out. It is a attack reaction that your daggers gain +1 this turn. So it's a really interesting card, Knives Out. I wouldn't say it's a staple by any means, only because, not because it's bad, but because there's better blue block 3s that you need to run. But this is a blue block 3 at worst, and at best, at 0 cost, and at best, it's basically like a lunging press for your Kodachis. So if you get someone in Kodachi lock at 1 life or 2 life, and it's one of those heroes that can block really efficiently, like an Oldheim or something, this could honestly like get over the top on a Kodachi and, allow it to come in for 2 and then in the game. So maybe, you could run this depending on how it goes. But right now, I just think it needs more support, more dagger-focused archetype. But, it could sneak its way into a staple, honestly. Next one is Massive Shifting Perspectives. This is a limited card for sure. It's a cool interaction. If you destroy the mask whenever a dagger hits this turn, you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck and then draw a card, so it allows you to cycle cards. Really good, especially in limited when you can draw dead hands just because of the card pool you had access to. This allows you to cycle. So really good for limited, but it's not better than Mask Momentum or Pouncing Link, so it's going to be a limited card. Next one is 1-2 Punch. This card and Recoil really upset me because they could have been such good cards, but I'm just going to put them in the limited just because the way Katsu works, in my opinion, is you either need, for combo cards, they either need to have Go Again and be on rate, or they need to have some type of on-hit effect. So let's look at combo cards for a second. Whelming Gus Wave is normally a 0 for 3 off the Surging line. When comboed, it gets +1, draw a card. Then McGinty, +1, go get Lord of Wind, right? Then you look at Leg Tap, Rise and Knee Thrust. Normally a 0 for 3. When comboed, it's now a 0 for 5. Go again. 0 for 5, go again. Then you have Hurricane Technique, which gets +1 on hit, comes back to your hand. Then you look at Head Jab. Open the Center is normally a 2 for 5, no go again. When combo, it's a 2 for 6, go again, dominate, right? So you can see the trend here. Even just Torn Tempo, a line no one hardly ever runs in Crane Dance. Both of their combos, Rushing Rivers combo is it gets +1 and it allows you to like cycle cards. Crane Dance gets +1 go again, and it allows you to not be defended by a card with base attack greater than the amount of chain links you control. They all have these really cool effects. 1-2 Punch doesn't get any buff at all, so it's still a 0 for 3. It doesn't have Go Again, and it deals 2 additional damage. So it's basically like a conditional Rising Knee Thrust that doesn't have Go Again. I don't understand why they printed this at 3. They should have printed it at 4. You either print this at 3 with Go Again, or you print this at 4 with no Go Again. If this would have had Go Again, it actually would have been playable. It's a 0 cost. So you play Head Jab, it hits, you go get this, you play this, and you tell your opponent, like, hey, this is another 0 for 3 Go Again. If it hits, and it doesn't have to have base Go Again. It could have had Go Again off combo, right? It could be naturally a 0 for 3, no Go Again, but when combo with Head Jab, it's a 0 for 3. It gains Go Again, and if it hits, deal 2 additional damage. So basically, you would tell your opponent, hey, either you're going to give me a card or I'm going to deal 5 damage to you. That actually would have been really good, and it probably would have been usable. But because it doesn't have Go Again, it now forces you to do one of two things. It forces you to snap or breeze it, or it forces you to play it at the end of a chain. It's just not that good. It's more of a limited base card. It is good and limited because the life totals are low and it might be really good as a finisher, but in CC it's just not going to see play. I really wish they would have said on combo this gains Go Again. It actually would have been playable. The next one is Plunge. When this hits, your next attack or next dagger this turn gains +1. It comes in for 2. 2 at yellow, 3 at red, but it doesn't combo in anything, which is really the biggest issue with it. If it would have comboed into something, it actually would have been pretty decent at yellow, but it is a 1 cost. If it was a 0 cost, maybe you could even somewhat think about it, but at 1 cost yellow for only 2 attack, it's a limited card, or even needs support when dagger becomes more prevalent. Then you have Recoil. Okay, I'm not going to go on as long of a tangent as I did on 1-2 Punch. Basically, I wish they would have changed this card. It should be a 0 for 3, but combo, it's a 0 for 4. This one didn't even need Go Again because it does have a pretty devastating on hit. It basically is get rid of a card from hand on hit. They should have made this 4 because, again, if I play Head Jab as a starter, I can't go get this card because it's going to end my turn. So I'm forced to play Head Jab at the end of my turn or be like water or whatever because it's basically a finisher, but it's a 0 for 3 finisher. So they're just going to block with one card anyway and not take any damage. Like, yes, you ripped a card out of their hand, but it limits the flexibility in your play lines. This 100% should have been a 0 for 4, or a 0 for 3 go again. That's what they should have done. I don't know. I think, honestly, to make it most fair, it should have been a 0 for 4, no go again, because that way you force a D-react out of hand. But I don't know. Short and sharp, choose one. Target is an attack reaction, ninja assassin attack reaction. Target dagger gains +3, or target attack action card with 2 or less base gains +3. This actually might be useful in Benji, and we can talk about that whenever we talk about Benji cards. But for Katsu, it's definitely just limited. But for Benji, it's actually might be pretty good, because it's going to allow you to give it a +3, another +3 buff. It's not as good as Razor Reflex still, like we all can understand that. However, it is really good to still buff your attacks in Benji by 3, which can really help you close out games. Silverwind Shuriken. This is a 1-of sideboard tech card. I like it at a 1-of. I think it's fantastic. It's basically a second breaking skills as an item. Attack reaction, destroy it. It's an item. Target attack action card with combo gains +1. Yes, I know it doesn't have go again, so it takes us a reaction point to play it. So you basically have to play this at the end of your turn, 1 turn to set up. But in a fatigue matchup, this might be good to have a 1 or a 2 of to help threaten your late game threats when you're trying to push that last little bit of damage. I wouldn't run it in the main board, but I definitely would run it as a 1 of in the sideboard. Next, we have Spinning Wheel Kick, one of the best cards in the set, if not the best card in the set from just like an overall standpoint. Combo, if Twin Twisters or Spinning Wheel Kick, so it combos off itself, was the last attack this combat chain. It gains +1, and when it hits, put it at the bottom of its owner's deck. So at worst, this card is a searchable 1 for 4. It's basically a searchable leg tap at worst. At best, it's a 1 for 5 go again that you can search, and it cycles back into your deck on hit. So it's able to keep threats in deck, and it also combos with Roundhouse Kick, which is one of the best cards in the set as well. And just overall great card. So definitely run a 3 of in this. You might even run yellows depending on how it goes, but definitely run reds for sure. Next is Stab Wound. This is really good in Katsu, also good in Benji. When it hits a hero, they lose X life, where X is the number of times a dagger has hit this combat chain. So if you Kadachi, they take both Kadachis, you play this. It's basically saying, if you don't block this, I'm going to deal 4 damage. Really good late game. Because it can threaten, like if they're at 2 life or 3 life, they take 1 Kadachi, block the second to prevent mask. Then you play this. Yes, it's coming in for 2, but if they let it hit, it's going to come in for 3 and kill them. So it's really good for those late game like Kadachi lock situations. Also, if you Razor this, so if you Kadachi, they take it. You play this. They want to prevent mask. They block it by 3. You Razor it to make it 5. It deals 2 damage and an additional 2 from the other Kadachis. You're basically getting 4 value. And the go again, and the mass draw. So I definitely would run this as a stable. It's a blue block 3. Both of these blues, Dishonor and Stab Wound, are going to make it in the list for sure. Next one is Visit the Flowing Dojo. This is a 1, maybe a 2 of in sideboard. Really good in the fatigue. It's a Katsu specialization. Put a Surging Strike and a card with combo from your graveyard on the top or bottom of your deck. This is good for 2 reasons. One, obviously, is the anti-fatigue game plan. It's really good to put threats back into your deck, right? You can put a Surging and a Whelming, or a Surging and 100 Winds, or a Surging and a Spinning Wheel Kick, whatever it may be. But it's also good to help pick your mass draw. If you arsenal this card and then you play your hand out, right, the next hand, and then you are about to hit with mask, and you know you're about to hit with mask, you can play this at instant speed in the reaction step and basically pick your mass draw, which is really nice. So has multiple use cases for sure. Awesome artwork as well. Really excited about the card. Then we have Wander with Purpose. This is a Benji card, so I know we're not doing Benji now, but it will be a staple in Benji. It basically gives you a Katsu trigger for Benji, so super nice for that. Back Heel Kick. This is similar as the Recoil and 1-2 punch, but not quite as bad. If Twin Twisters was the last attack this combat chain, this has if Back Wheel Kick would gain base attack instead of gains that much +1. So basically, if you play Twin Twisters, give your next attack +1. You choose the ability to give your next attack +1 if it hits. So this comes in for 1 for 4. It's actually a 1 for 5. If this would have had Go again, it might have actually been playable. But because it does not have Go again, it is not playable. This is basically a 0 for 5, no Go again. It's a bad rising knee thrust. So because of that, definitely is in limited. I would not run it in CC or Blitz. Be Like Water. It's going to be a staple in Katsu. So good. So much flexibility in your play lines especially for the surging line. It also can help you combo into spinning wheel kick. So just super solid, flexible card. Blade Cuff, just a simple limited card, nothing crazy. Gives your dagger +1 by paying 2. Really weak limited card, but it's still a limited card if you draw into it, especially in sealed. Mainly meant for limited. Next one is Bleed Out. This needs support. Yes, if you cannot, basically this reads when Bleed Out. Bleed Out costs X resources, and X is the amount of total. And then the X is, it costs X less, and X is the amount of damage you've dealt with daggers. So if you Kadachi, sorry, that just broke my brain. If you Kadachi and then play this, it allows you to basically play for free if they let both Kadachis hit. However, it doesn't combo into anything, and most of the time they're going to block that second Kadachi. So most of the time this is a 1 for 4 go again, which again isn't bad in Katsu. It's just not quite good enough to get a spot over other cards. Like you wouldn't run this over spinning wheel kick or leg tap, right? Because they're just better for combo. So it needs more support, but it is a good card and definitely a card you can pick up in limited. I think it's really solid. Next one's Bondsman Ancestry, staple, mainly only in Surging Katsu or traditional Katsu, not as much in Kitty Katsu. However, this card's bonkers. This card paired with Breeze Rider Boots just gives you dumb interactions. I've already had interactions just in fun Talishar testing where I've gone like Descendant into Bonds, into Whelming, into Bonds, into Dishonor off a Breeze Rider Boots turn. Just stupid stuff you can do. Just really, really good card. Arguably the highest power ceiling card in the set for sure. Then you have Concealed Blade, another staple. All these are staples in my opinion. It's a blue block 3 lunging press. That's the best way to look at it. And when the dagger support comes in, it'll help you recur daggers back it'll help you give daggers from your sideboard back onto the field when you need a dagger spot. But at worst, it's a blue block 3 lunging press that can pitch for Kadachis. Definitely run this card. I think in Katsu, you're going to have 3 stab wounds, 3 concealed blades, and 3 dishonoreds, in my opinion. 9 of your blue slots will be those cards. Then we have Cyclone Roundhouse. This combos into spinning wheel kick. This is definitely a staple. In my opinion, you run 1, maybe 2 of this card. If spinning wheel kick was the last attack, this combat chain, this has at the beginning of the reaction step, banish a random defending card from each chain link. So 1, this is a 2 for 5, 2 for 5 even off combo. So it's a 2 for 5 block 3 at yellow. This basically allows you to get rid of equipment from people. So like if a Viscerai blocks with Grasp of the Arknight on a previous chain and you play this, their grasp is gone. They no longer can make rune chants. This can banish a Tekla Foundry Heart. This can banish a Rampart off Oldheim. If you play spinning wheel kick, basically Oldheim has to respect the fact that you might have this in hand even if spinning wheel kick doesn't hit. If they see spinning wheel kick, if they're smart, they basically can't block with Rampart that turn. They can't, unless they want to risk it going away. Because if you play this and Rampart's the only card they blocked with on a previous chain, it'll banish. Now, if they blocked with multiple cards and Rampart, because it is random, there's a chance that Rampart still won't be banished, but it could be. Also, this is really good just on its own chain link. It's like a mini route because if they block for 5, like with a card and an equipment on that chain link, one of those cards is going away in the reaction step. So it's really, really nice for that. So definitely a staple. Then you have Deadly Duo. When this hits, the next stack action card with 2 or less base, this combat chain gains +2. Not really going to be used in Katsu. Might not even be used in Benji, to be honest with you, because you're not going to want to buff 2 or less base cards on Benji because then they can be blocked from hand. So it's definitely just a limited card for sure. And then finally, Descendant Gus Wave, the other main staple in the set. Obviously, definitely something that you're going to want to run without a shadow of a doubt and be able to combo into stuff like Bonds of Ancestry. And it's also what I like about Descendant Gus Wave is it's not just a combo card into that big combo crazy line that you see with Dishonor that everyone's talking about. It's also simply just a starter because you can play this 1 for 3 and then combo into bonds for free. If you play this, you're basically telling your opponent, if you do not block this, I'm going to attack with 2 more cards, and one of them is going to be bonds, and one of them is going to be something else, because you're going to tutor to get bonds, and then you're going to tutor with bonds to get something else. So if they let this hit, they have 2 more attacks coming their way without a shadow of a doubt, probably for 0 resources. So they probably want to block it. It's almost an auto block as a starter, which is really nice. Anytime you can make someone block you chain 1 as a ninja, you're in good shape. So overall, that's kind of where I see these cards being, though. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you agree or disagree, totally fine. I think we got a lot of good cards in the set, a lot of playable cards, and even the cards that aren't playable, like in the need support category, they're not unplayable by any means. And as we get more cards for like the dagger archetype, these are going to be even better and better. But super happy with the set. Super happy with Ninja. I think Katsu's in a really good spot now, a really flexible spot. Is he a tier 1 deck? That remains to be seen. But overall, I think it's in a really good spot, and I'm really excited. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you all next time on TCG Talk. Thank you all so much.